Vixen Season 2, Episode 4. This is a pretty cool episode because we got to see two additional characters in this one. This is the first time we got to see both Ray as the Atom animated, and it's the first time that we got to see Laurel, who, if you don't watch the normal DC shows, she's dead now. So sorry if I spoiled that somehow if you don't watch the live action shows, but you watch like the 30-minute seasons of Vixen. But it was cool to see both of them. It was really cool because, of course, Laurel came back. It was the same voice actress. I just can't think of the actress's actual name right now. But it was really cool to see them. It was one of those weird things because when they showed up, I was like, oh yeah, this does take place. This is basically like at the beginning, or not even at the beginning. This is like before the last season of all the DC shows. So it's actually kind of in a really weird in-between sort of space. Where it's like, yep, they got the characters and stuff like that, so now they're doing their own thing. So last season was like, Legends of Tomorrow type stuff. So I guess it wasn't in between seasons. I guess technically, well, I don't know. It's hard to say because I guess this one is in between the last season. I think the first season was before the last season of all the shows, so that was before Legends of Tomorrow and stuff like that. But I guess this season is a little bit after. It seemed like it was right after, if going from season 1 to this season. It seems like it's just right after. It seems like it's like a couple days later, and that's really it. They don't truly express how much time is like really passed. But with them having the Legends of Tomorrow characters specifically, with Ray in this episode, it has to at least be between like a couple of episodes, of the last season, which makes a lot of sense because Vixen does show up in live action towards the end of the last season of Arrow, so that was really cool. But I like how they did it. It was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I doubt they'll do this, but it was just a cool way to have, the Laurel, Black Canary, come back into the show because now she's gone. That's like the only way we can get her, unless they decide to do some sort of time manipulation stuff, and we actually get to see Laurel come back and into the Arrow universe. So if that's not going to happen, this is kind of like our last little thing that we have. So I thought it was pretty cool that we got to see her. I thought it was a pretty cool little fight scene. It didn't go as I expected. We also got Felicity in this one, but it didn't go as I expected. Like, Mari's going in with her sister, and I figured maybe she's gonna betray her. I didn't think it would be the next episode where it's like they go in to steal this thing and it's like, alright, screw you, and then she puts on the gem. And also, I didn't know that it could heal people, because she mentions like, I won't have to be sick anymore once I have this. And once she put it on, it like healed her and stuff. I was like, oh, I thought it didn't matter if you were, strong or weak. It just gave you powers. I didn't think it actually like imbued you with extra physical capabilities, or like actually, healed you as you wore it. So I was like, oh, that's, kind of a different element. It adds to how these people can fight and survive for so much longer than a normal person. It's not just, oh, I wore it and now I have powers. It's like you have, considering she could barely even move and stuff, I would assume it gives you like enhanced strength and endurance, based on what we saw her doing compared to how weak she was, initially going into it. So I was like, okay, that adds a new element to what these can do outside of giving you like, of course, crazy powers. Even outside of that, it allows you that extra balance where it's like, okay, you get also, extra strength and endurance as well. So even if a certain ability like the fire is really crazy, you can still withstand it at least a little bit longer than a normal person would. You'd be able to take a few more hits because you have that increased strength and increased endurance. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I didn't really notice that. I didn't think about that with the big guy when he was fighting Mari and he like jumped out of the thing. I just assumed it was because he was using the fire kind of to fly pretty much. That's how it played out. And that's pretty much what he did. So I didn't think it had anything to do with like extra strength or anything. It just seemed like he was floating, on the fire. But I thought that was a cool little element for them to add. Of course, Mari's sister betrayed her, which I expected, just not as fast. But I guess I should just assume everything's going to happen in the next episode, because it's only, like, I don't know if the, next episode, which is already out now, episode 5 is the last one, or if it's going to be 6 for this season, or even more if they make it more than just, like, an episode this time. But I thought that was cool. It's like, I like the little fight scene. Of course, they bring in Ray and Laurel, and that was cool. I like that. It was also funny the way they ended it, because like man, Laurel like just hit her sister like straight in the head. I was like, dang, I'm surprised she didn't get like knocked out from that. But they stop her, and then it's like, hey, this dude's on a rampage now. He's just scorching the city. So at least for now, I of course still have my reservations as to what's going to happen at the end. But Mari officially teams up with her sister at the end of the episode, and it's like, hey, you want revenge for your village, help me save mine. Let's work together and let's take this guy down. And so they do the little handshake at the end, and we're off into the next episode. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Admittedly, my guess is that it'll be that sort of villain hero team up thing where it's like, oh, we have to deal with each other, sort of like the anti-hero thing where it's like, we're kind of rivals, but we got to team up to really beat the chaotic, villain. And like, I'm just like the regular villain who just wants to do something. They're just like destroying everything. So let's team up and beat them. And then we can go back to being enemies. Because I'm sure her sister will at least attempt to take off. So it's hard to say if she'll make it. I don't know if Mario will be able to stop her after they defeat the guy and she gets the necklace off of her. Or if her sister will end up getting the necklace and just taking off at the end of this season. I don't really know. But I'm excited to see where it goes, of course. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts or least favorite parts. And now that they've added in 2 new characters for this season, well, technically 3, because we also got to see Firestorm early on as well. What characters would you guys like to see animated? Because it's a lot of possibilities to it. Honestly, I never even thought about the fact that, with this being in such a weird spot in the timeline, that they could have characters that have gone away. So they could bring back, Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and it would make a bit of sense. They'd probably have to save that for like season 3 or something, depending on how much time they skip, because it would still have to be within the rest of the DC shows from the last season, because that's where, Hawkman and Hawkgirl were right before they took off to Legends of Tomorrow. But I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities there. Of course, we have a ton of characters if they decide that season 3 is going to finally catch up to the rest of the shows. So maybe it'll completely skip over where the DC shows are in this season, and then it'll go into the next season, and maybe she can meet, Amara from Legends of Tomorrow, and meet her like great grandmother who also has the necklace, and they can team up and little stuff like that. So I'm not sure, how far they're going to take it, what they're going to be doing with the time, because of the way they do the show is so weird. And they didn't do it for this season. They kind of kept it in the past instead of kind of skipping a bunch of time. So maybe they'll do the same thing where next season all the live action shows will be, current, and then the 3rd season of this will still be in 2016. So it's hard to say, because right now it's technically in 2015, early 2016, I guess, if you want to do it that way. But season 3 would still be, mid 2016 or something like that, unless they decide to just fully catch it up and just jump to, 2017. So we kind of just have to wait and see how all that plays out. But like I said, definitely want to know what characters you guys would like to see animated, whether it's heroes or villains, because we did get Weather Wizard as well, which is pretty cool. But we'd love to know which characters you guys would like to see done in animated form, and what you thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.